Dog Show.
Their bodies was designed to break down raw meat. It was not designed. The Lord didn't make kibble. He didn't make it. So if you're feeding that to your dog, I don't think you love them any less, but that's not what he made for them to eat. And Mutual Omaha, Wild Kingdom, all of them been teaching me since I was a little boy, raw is the way to go.
Yeah. And you've been with us for a long time.
I think, how long you been in your company now?
Well, we have going on 3 years, but we've been doing raw for like 4 years.
Day one. I'm a day one product.
So you've been using our products for a long time, and you've been seeing the huge importance it does into your own pups. And
pups, my dogs, so many of my clients, people hit me on my DMs all the time or on my personal phone asking me how to get in touch with you. And everybody, I've never had a complaint on your product.
You have working dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
So have you noticed a difference of, when you started cooperating raw into them, performance levels?
Oh my goodness.
Can you...
Energy, way up, the dog's stamina. Remember, dogs have to chase prey down in the wild.
Oh yeah.
They don't run up. It's not tied out. It's not coming out there like a decoy. They have to chase it down for miles. So they gotta have the stamina to go catch the prey. So it definitely helped my dogs, their stamina in the work. And then in recovery, they're ready to work the next day. If I give them 8 to 10 hours sleep, they're ready to work the next day, the same equipment, just like they would in the wild if they need to hunt the next day. Mm-hmm. So I've seen that tenfold.
Because it all starts with a healthier diet.
Oh, there's no kibble. Kibble takes so much. When I explain to people, when you take kibble and put it in a dog's stomach, the moisture in their body has to leave their organs and now go into the stomach tract to at least break the food down. Moisturize the food so it can break it down, which means now your dog's organs are dehydrated. Correct. But if you're putting in food that's already moist and hydrated, their organs stay the way they need to. They're not dehydrating themselves during recovery.
Another thing importance of I wanted to clarify, we have a lot of people say, and I did mention earlier, were allergies.
Yes.
Dogs tend to be a lot of allergic to, dogs can be allergic to a lot of things. It can be environmental, it can be through, certain proteins.
Preservatives. So
preservatives in dog food, that's one that is really big because it's in every single commercial use of kibble. Sometimes dogs do get sensitive to those.
Sensitive.
So when you have raw, you have the control of not getting something fresh. That's filler free, that has no preservatives, which limits those chances of dogs getting allergic reactions to, and eliminating those vet bills. Going back and forth. So that's another topic that I want to say. So I have a lot of customers like, Diana, my dog's allergic to something. I always pinpoint, okay, so let's avoid poultry. Some dogs, like I said, they can be allergic to poultry. That's usually the one that most pups tend to be allergic to. So I say, let's stick to just all beef. Protein. Because it's not as common and it's also a little cost effective. Okay. So that's one that, I like to have our customers try and keep their dogs between 1 or 2 weeks and limit any type of preservative, like other type of, commercial food and stuff, treats, just to see if they'd see any changes in dogs. Because it isn't lie. Like, you can't lie to customers. You're able to see physically in your dog.
You see the change.
So, we have them on just straight beef blends, give them a couple days, between 1 or 2 weeks, see the changes, and then if they start seeing all those allergy symptoms going away. Because I say, if you're giving your dog something that's causing it, you're going to going back and forth. You're going back and forth to the vet, getting the allergy shots, but you're giving the dog, or you're having it in an environment that it's causing that. So it's like, if you eliminate what's causing it, then you eliminate the problem. You don't have to be spending extra money and going back and forth to the vets, with getting allergy shots and stuff, because, the dogs are allergic to the preservative or some type of filler or preservative in the dog food.
Yes.
With raw, you have that advantage of actually knowing what you put in your dog. And that's also another thing, is knowing what you put in your dog's body. Is actually, they're getting the nutrients right from the source, as I mentioned before, versus everything is just a little powder of nugget and kibble. So That's one that I have a lot of customers come in. They'll be like, my dogs are allergic. It does a huge help for allergies, for dogs who have allergies to certain type of preservatives in commercial dog food. When is it to start your pups on raw?
I start my puppies on raw as soon as I can feel teeth. As soon as I can start to feel them little teeth coming in, I might take a little scoop of your product on the finger and then go back on mama. Within 5 to 7 days, them teeth is out. Once them teeth is out, I'm putting that in a little goat milk, and I'm making a porridge, a little pudding. And now they're crossed over. Remember, I'm already would have been giving the mom raw.
Yeah.
So she has it in her milk. So they kind of already have that, you know what I mean? So it would be nothing but second nature for their bodies now to digest the actual product. And one thing I noticed too, puppies, when they're that age, it's very crucial to keep them hydrated. And sometimes mom don't produce a lot of milk. Or she can't, you got giant litters and they all can't, somebody gonna, but when you get them to the point of when they're trying to cross them over to food, raw diet, now the blood, the organ meat, that hydrates your dog that puppy way more natural than you would, because they can't even always drink water. They're still not understanding how to use their tongue, but they can grab and scoop up that porridge, that pudding. Now I know my puppy's hydrated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's definitely, I would say, between 4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks.
From little to adult, and then also.
And then that's it. From there on, we stay here. We just don't go. Like I said, I've had dogs in my household now that have never eaten kibble at all. So when people say, "Oh, these dogs can't," it just don't make no sense. You know, because I know I always tell people like joke. I say, if we all vanish tomorrow, my dog's gonna eat. They gonna eat something. It's gonna be running around. They gonna eat. Other dogs that eat all these kibble dogs, they gonna be trying to figure out how to get in the grocery store and get them bags of dog food. When other dogs will be so close to what is natural to them. You know what I mean?
Correct. Some other important thing that I wanted to mention that I get a lot is Diana, when my dog gets sick. So if they would get exposed to like E. coli, salmonella in raw food. And I feel like it's very important because we as a company, we do our part, that we have to make sure we follow certain guidelines in meat processing, sanitizing, making sure not cross-contamination towards certain proteins like, beef and chicken, because that also can contribute to allergies, when dogs are allergic. So we do our part as a company to make sure we follow certain guidelines to meat handle properly. And I also say enforce our customers to do their own regulations as far as making sure you're cleaning your dog's bowls.
Okay.
Making sure you clean your dog's bowls, making sure that you keep the meat at temperature as it should be, not putting it in the microwave.
Never.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
There's
people that are like, oh shoot, I forgot to take out a chub and I put it in the microwave for a couple of seconds. No. Or they leave it in the fridge for like more than like 3-4 days, all week. It's like, no, making sure, all those things have a huge impact. So I always say we do our part to make sure we minimize those chances. Yeah. But at the same time, we encourage our customers to do their part and making sure you're actually knowing how to raw feed, because raw feed is very different than kibble. You can't just leave it in their bowl and let them, eat whenever they want.
You can't leave this in the morning all day and you come home from work.
No.
I feed it to my dogs. It literally is, I like it almost still frozen. I like it to be still icy.
That's one how I feed it to my pups as well.
Icy, because then it's still a good water content in it.
Because let's say you have a dog that's a slow feeder.
Yes.
So let's say you have a dog that's a slow feeder, he nibbles here, he goes, and he comes back. You don't want that just sitting there if it's completely thawed out. You want that, especially for summer. You want him to eat it right away. So let's say you do have a dog that, is a slow eater. We'll give it to him a little semi-frozen.
Small portions.
Give it to a little semi-frozen. If you're like, no, Diana, I have a little dog, but, they can all come in 2 pounds, by the way. And they're like, it's, how can I meal prep it? Take it out for...
You got your line. I always use your lines.
So you can take it out for, 45 minutes. It's still going to be frozen. You cut it down into the amounts. You put it in the baggie in the freezer. It should still be frozen, and then you just take it out as you go.
That's what I.
And you cut it into little chunks. You put all the other supplements and stuff, and then you have their whole meal. And then if there are slow feeders, you don't have of them getting sick because the meat gets down in temperature.